when I built Bremerton Ice Arena, my ice arena up in Seattle, I got just so much attention and stuff. And Jean Beliveau, Wayne Gretzky and stuff. Beliveau, there's a photo from the front, the Gazette. Thank you, Val. Man. There's a photo from the Montreal Gazette, story by Dave Stubbs, and was April, I can't believe it, 2003. I had just blessed to have spent the whole the afternoon with Beliveau. But shout out there. Shout out to Phil Esposito, who at that time, and feel free to kind of take notes here, Shawn, because you know all these guys. You have stories, tons of stories about all these guys. Shout out to Phil Esposito. Espo, I just love him. I followed him forever. But we talked at the same Gretzky camp over cigars and cocktails and stuff. And what I loved about Espo, he was a hockey guy, but more so, he was an entrepreneur, a visionary, and a real estate guy. He, and correct me on this, Shawn, but he basically from the ground up built the Tampa Bay Lightning as a brand, as a product, including the stadium. So shout out to him. The camp was just amazing. Paul Coffey, and I don't think I have a photo of Paul Coffey, was just amazing. Paul Coffey. He created the biggest Paul Coffey fan in the history of the world, and it was Deborah Meakin, my wife, who got to watch him skate live in Coyote Stadium. And she said, what a beautiful skater. He's the greatest skater I've ever seen in my life, Paul Coffey. So anyhow, Paul will forever have a fan in Deborah Meakin. All those guys, you know, Kirk Mueller, and you remember Danny Gare. Danny Gare, these are some names that younger people don't know, but what the nicest guy in the world. Danny, I haven't talked to him for a while, but just wanted to shout him out. Back to you here. That's just kind of the shout outs that I wanted to get on the air, other than to my wonderful wife, Deborah, and my kids, my 3 boys. But Shawn, take a minute, name drop here a little bit, just kind of like I did, whatever. I just cannot believe when I talk to you, the people that you've known. Go ahead, and again, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. It's really nice to have you here today, man.
Yeah, it's a good way to finish up, actually, talking about people that have influenced us in some way or left an impression. Well, you said first thing. I mean, I wouldn't have done all the things I did in the hobby without Tanya's support. That's one thing I've always said. I've always had tremendous support from my wife and my kids to go and attend all of these events and to be as passionate as I've been about hockey and collecting and creating events and attending events and things like that. She goes to the door 5 to 10 times a week and answers to take my courier packages and my shipments from the couriers, just everything she's ever done. So, my first shout out is definitely to Tanya and the kids. They've always been in full support of me living this foolish dream of collecting and enjoying the game of hockey. But you hit on some funny names there, or some fun names, I guess. I actually met both Courtnells, Russ and Jeff, at the camp I attended, and had lots of fun with those guys, and have talked to them and done memorabilia deals with them actually since over the years. So really good guys that I met back in 2005 in Phoenix at Wayne's camp. Paul Coffey, you mentioned. When the teams got drafted at the camp I was at, Paul Coffey was actually a defenseman on our team for the whole week, for the whole tournament. So I got lots of coffee time that trip, and he was a great storyteller in the dressing room. Had lots of fun with Coff. But I'm going to finish. You started the show talking about